So yeah, thank you so much, Steph and Andrea, for joining the call today. We're just going to talk a little bit about like your experience and everything that we kind of went through. Honestly, it was an honor and pleasure to work with you guys. You were ultimately a referral, somebody that very close to me said trusted in me to be able to potentially help you guys, and it was an honor from the beginning to be able to do that and try to over deliver as much as I could with the knowledge that I had. So, and it's been close to a year. I think today actually marks a year, which is actually pretty funny. Um, so yeah, having said that, I mean, if you could, if you guys could share like a little bit about like your names and where you're from, what you do within the company and all that, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so we have a company called Mind Your Movement, and basically we help high performers and highly active people permanently eliminate pain, tightness, recurring injuries so that they can get back to their athletic peak. And essentially what I do, I'm the founder and I guess CEO, although Andy honestly is looking more like that these days. But I'm in charge of just content creation. I'm the face of the brand. And I do a lot of the delivery work in terms of like the actual like coaching concepts that we use.
Yes, sir. Hi, guys. I'm Andy. And yeah, like Steph said, we have our company, Mind Your Movement, and which is like mostly a fitness coaching offer, if you really want to categorize it as something. And yeah, I've been mostly in charge of operations for the last like year, coaching, client experience, all that good stuff. And yeah, just taking on more and more of an operational role these days. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, appreciate that. So, I mean, let's get straight into it. I guess considering the situation that you guys were in before, um, what did the business look like in the 3 months before we actually started working together in terms of revenue, situation, and like overall like the main problems that you were facing?
Yeah, definitely. So we were definitely progressing, but quite slowly, honestly. So I think we were hitting like six, seven, eight. I think we even hit like a 12K month right before we started working with you. It was just really inconsistent. We didn't really understand our numbers. I mean, we barely even had a spreadsheet telling us what the data even was. So we just were kind of all over the place and didn't really have the systems in place that we needed to position us to start scaling and making things a lot more reproducible and predictable. So I'd say that's where we were when we first started working together, just not making too much money. And it was also unpredictable what we would even make from month to month.
Got it. That makes sense. And I guess what was the main reason that made you invest kind of with me and for us to work together?
Yeah, it was a no-brainer, man, because the way that our lives are set up right now, just with me training at the intensity that I do and just all the other things, it just made so much sense to bring somebody on board. Number one, to show us what we were doing wrong and to help us understand sales systems better, and to help us understand the whole sales process better, because that's what you helped us with, not only the systems, but also like how do we actually even execute a sales call? How do we train sales people on that role? And I think that was another thing I didn't mention as well, is that when we first started with you, we had a closer, but we didn't really know how to train him. We were just kind of guessing and like looking at his game tape and being like, yeah, I think you can do this a little bit better. But you know, it was never with like any like huge level of certainty. So I think you came on board and like helped us with all of that stuff.
Absolutely. Okay. Glad to hear that. Glad to be of service. And um, I mean, now that you kind of are facing your next challenges, right? Then moving forward into the next version, right? I think when I came in April, you guys made 8K more or less, and then in May you made 36K, just to kind of reference some numbers, which is pretty exciting. I was even surprised that it came that quickly. Obviously, you guys had the ads and the leads, everything kind of ready for that, so I can't take all the credit, not even close. And obviously the team. But now that you have the structure, you have the systems, you have everything in place, like how do you feel like facing the next challenges of scaling from that at the highest point close to 50K all the way to 100K and one day $1 million per month for sure?
Yeah, for sure. So I think the way that you helped us build our systems out is applicable to any monetary goal up to potentially even 1 million a month. Obviously, like we're going to have to refine things, tweak things, and all that. But I think the general infrastructure is exactly what's needed to scale much further than we have with you. So I'd say that's the biggest thing there is just like being able to have a structure that just transfers to every single goal that we have in the near future.
Absolutely. Okay. That's great to hear
Yeah,
that.
for sure. And I would add to that that like just the understanding of how like what things should be to have like an understanding of like, okay, this is how much we should expect from one closer, this is how much we can expect out of one setter, like this is how things should be ran in a certain way, just like having had that experience. Because like Steph said, like we just hired our first closer and we had an appointment setter for like 2 months before starting to work together with you, so we didn't really have the experience of like this is what it's like and this is how it should be done when somebody else is like doing all of your sales for you.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not,
I,
it's
I
not
can
the
see.
same as doing it yourself.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense. And I guess in terms of delivery, I know I didn't help too much on that end as well, but I think we worked on that a little bit as well, like with the systems. Um, how how did that change things for you guys?
Yeah, I think that the frameworks that you gave me in terms of just like the coaching, like the back end side of things, tracking mostly, I think that was a solid starting point for me to like then build on top of that and just really take what you gave me and kind of like customize it to our offer, tweak it wherever it made sense, and then put my own like experience and expertise into it to like build it into a system that is just like not letting people fail anymore.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that is a proof because I mean, just the testimonials channel has been blowing up recently and even before that. So yeah, it's been some amazing work you guys have put in for that. So okay, and I guess a couple questions more like hypothetically speaking, right? You probably can't know exactly, but I'm sure you guys would have succeeded regardless, because you know you're very hard workers and you know you can figure stuff out. But let's say you wouldn't have decided to work with me at the moment, where do you think you'd be at now in business?
Yeah, man. Definitely not this far for sure. I mean, who knows when we would have figured it out? I mean, eventually, like you said, we probably would have because we're both smart, we're both really disciplined and really motivated to get things rolling. But I think at the end of the day, just investing in somebody who's been there before, who has the experience and knowledge that you do, that just was so crucial for us to move the needle along in an exponential way because we might have 2x'd, but to like really like 3, 4, almost 5x, like that I don't know if we would have done by ourselves. So yeah, we would have probably just been at a way lower income level and maybe we would have hit some high months, but we wouldn't really know what's going on because we wouldn't have like put in the infrastructure that you did to understand the data and really know what's clearly happening in the business.
Gotcha.
Yeah, not to like also mentioning like the cost of trying to figure it out on our own, of like spending like hours watching YouTube videos and just like dealing with the anxiety that, oh my God, like this YouTube video said this and then the other said that and like what do you think we should do?
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of
that,
information out there.
yeah, there was a lot of time and energy saved on that one.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that worked out that way. And I mean, I guess final question, typical interview question, but basically, let's say somebody's looking at this interview and they're not sure yet, you know, if I'm the guy for them to help them out, what would you guys say to that person if they're a little bit on the fence?
Yeah, just be real with yourself. Where are you at? Where do you want to go? And do you actually have the knowledge to get yourself there? And don't go off of what you feel, go off of what your experience has shown. If you've only hit 8, 10, even 15K months, then you only know how to hit 8, 10, and 15K months. So be real with yourself about where you're at. And if you need the help to get somewhere further, then go and get the help, whether it's Guido here or somebody else to help you specifically with your sales systems. Go and get that help. Don't wait. There's no point in thinking about it. There's no point in hoarding money. And I'm saying this because this is me back then, speaking to myself back then. These are the things I think I needed to hear, because I was fooling myself that I knew what I needed to do. I was fooling myself that I had better things to do with the money and that we didn't have the money to invest in something like this. But those are all just faulty mindsets. And I think at the end of the day, they hold us back. I don't think I know that. So that's what I would say in a nutshell.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And another, like, first I want to point back to what I just said about, like, have you considered how much time and energy and effort it takes to figure it out on your own? And if you put that into like other areas of your business, how much faster you could be growing. And I think that, like, working with you, Guido, it wasn't like a situation in which, like, oh, we just outsource sales, and so we're gonna be like dependent on having somebody in the system for the rest of our lives because we don't understand what's going on. Like, our understanding of sales grew without us like having to, like I said, like do all the research, get all the experimentation in, like go through all the failures that you would otherwise need to go through if you try to figure it out on your own. So yeah, I think that's a key thing as well.
Gotcha. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for the kind words. I really appreciate that. And I mean, you guys were really an inspiration to work with from the beginning. And obviously we had ups and downs and everything like that, but that's part of a collaboration. And so I just can't wait to see where you guys go next, not just for you, but also the team that you have in place. So yeah, I just can't wait for all the potential that's going to be realized.
Definitely, man. Same here. And appreciate you just in the same way for following along with the process and just really giving your heart and soul to everything. Like, that's something else that I want people watching this to know, is that Guido will literally go above and beyond and really pour into you and your business and do whatever he can to help you grow and scale in the ways that you want. So it's not such a transactional feeling that you get with a lot of other coaches. Guido's really trying to make this a deep, intimate experience so that you not only, again, like grow and improve, but like you guys also will bond and be able to understand each other on a deeper level so that he can help you even better. So that's just something that I want to say as well, that at least that was our experience.
Yeah, for sure. And both
That's
of
cool.
our sales guys love you, so
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that sorry, go ahead, Steph. You were saying something.
I was just gonna second that. Yeah, we didn't even mention that, how much our setter and closer absolutely loved you and really look at you as a leader, and just you taught them so much. And that transformation, like we talked about the business transformation this whole time, but the transformation that they underwent throughout this whole process is absurd. I mean, they were boys when we first picked them up. And now I really think that they've matured into real killers in the industry in their respective rights.
Yeah, they've done so much work with themselves, and I mean, I think I guided them a little bit, but they're amazing people, and that's one of the things I learned the most is that it's more about selecting the right people for your business instead of necessarily trying to mold people that don't fit in the first place. And it just came in with the raw materials, and we just had to fine tune it. So yeah, I'm super proud of them as well. Um, yeah, that's about it then. I mean, there's nothing else to ask or anything like that. Yeah, do you guys have anything else to add? Or
I wanna
That's about
Okay, awesome. All right, thanks so much, guys, and yeah, let's keep growing. Let's keep crushing it.
Let's do it.